Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. There's been a very strong debate about the broad-based government and its management after the death of Raila Amolo Odinga. Remember, a few days ago, Winnie Odinga, who was very close to Raila Amolo Odinga, revealed to the nation that this broad-based government was a very complicated affair. And when she said it is complicated, people were asking, what exactly do you mean when you say you are complicated? Because when he said it is only Raila Amolo Odinga who was trusted to manage the broad-based relationship. Remember, Winnie Odinga was with Raila Amolo Odinga when Raila got to the handshake between himself and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And when Raila died in India, they were with Winnie Odinga. So many people were arguing that it is true. When Winnie says something, she's speaking like we can take it that this is from the horse's mouth because they have been together. Now, we've always advised this ODM team, especially those who are calling upon William Ruto to come and take over the ODM party, saying that they're orphans, that they need to scrutinize with a fine-tooth comb to understand whether William Ruto is genuine in his dealing with the broad-based management. We know that William Ruto gave Raila what he called a befitting send-off, a state burial. And before that, William Ruto had promised the nation that he would ensure that Raila is given maximum respect.
And my brother Raila Odinga, history is going to charge you fairly for what you have done for this nation. Immediately after the elections, several months after the elections, I called my brother and I told him, you have been my party leader. You have been my senior. Today, by God's grace, I'm president. I want you to be treated well. And I will do whatever it takes to make sure that you have respect in Kenya. And I am not doing this so that for any other reason that is selfish to me. I am doing this because I'm a younger person. You are an elder as far as I'm concerned, by age. And the contribution you have made to this Kenya deserves respect and deserves.
You know, respect can be defined. And when Raila was alive, when William Ruto said that he would be respected, people are asking, what exactly do you mean when you say that you want to ensure that Raila should be respected, yet we know that you've done, certain things that prove that you really don't respect Raila Amolo Odinga. Now, the very, very people have been yapping that, William Ruto is the best president ever. He has given us what no any other president has given us. And they have always promised that they will not lead the ODM to the opposition. Today, they are crying foul because the by-elections that are in the country have really exposed them. In Homabay, for example, we all know that there is a by-election that is happening in Kasipul. That is the county of Gladys Wanga, the chairperson of the ODM party. It is said that Wanga had almost been promised that should be the running mate in 2027. Of course, we all know that Ruto was only but hoodwinking her. Remember when Wanga declared Rigathi Gachagua a persona non grata, that Gachagua would not go to Bondo to mourn Raila Amolo Odinga? Political pundits felt that Ruto had hoodwinked her, that you will be my running mate. Now, in the very county, ladies and gentlemen, that's the country where we even have the chairman of the broad-based government, Opondo Kaluma, who has been he's been full of himself praising William Ruto. Now he's been caught lamenting and saying that William Ruto's men in that county are now campaigning for the opponent because, we've seen people like Aaron Cheruiyot and the majority leader in the National Assembly, Kimani Ichung'wah, walking around in ODM merchandise, saying that they are campaigning for ODM, but they have been exposed badly in Homabay because their people are now campaigning for the opponent candidate, and Opondo Kaluma is saying that we call on Ruto because they read mischief, they read suspicion. And you cannot tell me that William Ruto doesn't know about this. Kindly listen to Opondo Kaluma.
Independent candidate. We are campaigning for the independent candidate. It is confusing our people. Yesterday, Governor Obado came all the way from Migori, and he was campaigning with a rock. And he was campaigning in Kasipul. And it is in Kasipul where our daughter Sharon was also killed, in Kodera Forest near Dolde. So he's campaigning there. They are intimidating our people. The other day, another person was also there. Odoyo Weidi is campaigning, abusing us. And yet we are in broad-based government under President Ruto. That one has not gone. Just as we are seated here, former governor for Kidero, Evans Kidero, has just left Aroko's home. What picture are they giving our people? Senator, you know very well the candidate, our candidate is facing in Oyugis, in Kasipul, is a suspect in the murder of Charles Omondoweri. The presence of those people together being murder suspects is intimidating our people. But the big problem is that we cannot be in broad-based government together. And then the UDA team is campaigning for the opponent of the ODM team. Man, open the broad-based government meeting. So we need you, Senator Aaron Cheriot, to tell the UDA team, to tell the president to rain on those people. They are intimidating our people. The other day they went to the home of Charles Omondoweri. They fired very many gunshots. And remember, Charles Omondoweri was killed like an animal in Nairobi. When you go to that family again and you are shooting up to 26 bullets, you are intimidating the people. You are manipulating the election. We are going to win that election. But we want peace in Nairobi. And we feel very bad, Senator. President Ruto, we feel very...
The reason why we read with a lot of suspect when William Ruto said that he would ensure that Raila respected is because, you cannot say that you want to respect someone. You can only corroborate your sentiments by facts and actions. We saw William Ruto, who had, told the nation that Raila, he would ensure that Raila is taken to Bondo, retires from politics, annihilated politically. And according to them, they knew that that was Raila's last moment in politics, only to come back and take Raila to work with. And some people thought that that was the best way of finishing Raila politically, because you confront Raila, it is like taking fish into water. It will swim. And so he decided that, there are better ways of killing a rat. And so when you want to finish Raila politically, you don't confront him. That is why he brought him closer. We saw William Ruto poach ODM members of parliament without Raila giving the green light. It forced the ODM party to go and lament with the political, parties tribunal. They went to court. And that is why we felt if William Ruto is telling us that he's going to respect Raila, what does he mean by respect? We saw him kill the ODM supporters when they went to the streets to contest against what they called a rigged election. And this is why when he said that he wanted to ensure that Raila respected, we had question marks. Now, when you see people like Kidero, because Opondo Kaluma is even regretting because he felt that the UDA brigade would come, join hands with the ODM so that they campaign together. But you see people like Kidero, Okothobaro flew all the way from Migori to come and stand with the opponents. It is very fishy because here is Waga, who is very close to William Ruto, a person who has even been considered to be a potential running mate to William Ruto. Yet William Ruto cannot contain his people. They are everywhere supporting the opponent. I remember when Omondoweri was gunned down in Nairobi, People like Opondo Kaluma were saying, we bargained, but we never bargained for such killings, because they were saying that maybe this is the Broadway's mischief. To our utter shock, even the person who killed Ongondowere has not been seen to date. That case, I think, has just ended. They will arrest a few people here and there. And so it's shocking that in the very county where Wanga is the Wanga is the chairperson of the ODM party, the very county where Wanga is commanding, Ruto's men can come and blatantly, openly, and publicly campaign for the opponent candidate. That only tells you that William Ruto and his people are not genuine. He's reviving the very, very script. He started by poaching the ODM MPs. Recently, people were trying to discuss when all the court cases that were bedeviling Kidero were cleared, and people felt that Ruto wanted to elevate Kidero to take over Nyanza, because Kidero and the team, have been on the other side. Kidero led this group that felt that Raila should relinquish the Luo leadership so that they can take over. In fact, were it not for Raila Amolo Odinga, Kidero was so powerful that people felt he would even become the governor of Homabay. But you see, Kidero is self-made. Politicians would want people who will bow down to them. Kidero was not going to bow down to Raila Amolo Odinga, and that is why when he contested for the Homabay gubernatorial position, Wanga was given a direct ticket. Now, William Ruto seems to be reviving Kidero. People like Odoiwidi, people like the former governor of Migori, Zachary Okoth-Obado, they're leading this team just as they were when Raila was alive, because they were rebels. They have revived that rebellion, and I understand that even Ray, the interior CS, Ray Omolo, is there. So William Ruto cannot be honest. So let me just say, UDA cannot pretend to be honest in this broad-based, government, when they can openly campaign for an opponent team. What would be the intention of campaigning for the opponent team? They want to weaken ODM. They want to show people that after the death of Raila Amolo Odinga, no one listens to maybe Oburu and the team. If they were genuine, people like Okoth-Obado and Kidero would be campaigning for the ODM candidate. Opondo Kaluma is one person who has always, protected William Ruto. When you ask questions, they tell you that you want to take us back to Maandamano, you want to take us to Gachagua. Now, they realize that there is more than meets the eye, and they need to be very careful. Those who are calling upon William Ruto, let them scrutinize William Ruto, because they are not orphans. ODM has got a strong leadership that can still stabilize that ship ahead of 2027. And I like it when none other than Opondo Kaluma is the one who is now saying that, we don't trust this, broad-based. He's the one who told us that the broad-based, government is unmatched. It cannot be compared to even to any other handshake that they have involved themselves in. And so, this is a true testimony. And this is just a tip of an iceberg. William Ruto is pulling the strings under cover. And I will tell you in my next video why William Ruto will take ODM at all costs, because there is a lot of money that is circulating in Nyanza. Raila was the only stumbling block to William Samoei Ruto. Now that Raila is gone, and Oburu is saying that he has taken a short sabbatical because he's tired, and the other group that is remaining, people like Mbadi and Wanga, the Energy CS, they are there campaigning for William Samoei Ruto. It will be too late for them to realize that Ruto has a very ulterior motive to take over the ODM party to benefit himself. If they allow William Ruto to take over the party, William Ruto will reduce that party to a shell. The same thing he has done with the UDA. In fact, if William Ruto succeeds in retaining his seat after 2027, William Ruto will not have anything to do with the ODM party. He only wants to use it to get to power. And so they have complained. Let them open their eyes. And I like the fact that those who have been defending it are the people who have now come out. They can see it for themselves. There is no honesty. It is complicated, just like Queenie said it. and Winnie knew something. Sooner than soonest, they will realize the truth.